And now, for the very last in this series, and the least, question number 12.
Other than Jesus, there was two other men, both criminals, that were led out to be executed. When they came to a place they called Skull, there they crucified him with the criminals, one on his left and one on his right. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do."
It should be pointed out that the Codex Sinaiticus, link provided over there, does not contain that text, and that is the oldest known Bible there is. That line was actually added to the story later and after the fact.
And they divided his clothes by casting lots. The people stood watching, and the rulers even sneered at him. They said, "He saved others. Let him save himself, if he is indeed the chosen one." The soldiers also came and mocked him. They offered him wine and vinegar and said, "If you are the King of Jews, save yourself." There was a written notice above him, which read, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals who hung with Jesus on the cross hurled insults at Jesus, saying, "Aren't you the Christ? Save yourself and us." But the other criminal, "We are punished justly, for we are getting what our deeds deserve. But this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said this, "Jesus, remember me when you go into the kingdom." Jesus answered him, "Tell you the truth. Today you will be with me in paradise."
Quick question. If Jesus was dead and spent 3 days in his tomb, even though it was really just 2, and then he was resurrected and stayed with his followers for a little while, how was he in heaven with that thief? Just go.
Now this is the story of Christ's crucifixion and Christ's experience while hanging on the cross. But when I looked at all 4 Gospels and all 4 accounts of the crucifixion, I noticed something that I never noticed before. In Matthew, in the same crucifixion account, it says this, prior to this interaction with the criminal. It said this in Matthew 27:44. It says this, "In the same way, the robbers who were crucified with him," Jesus, "also heaped insults at him."
Let me just remind you of having said this before.
If I could demonstrate to you that the New Testament was one of the most reliable pieces of literature ever written.
I should point out that you have yet to demonstrate any of it as being accurate.
Do you notice how the passage uses the words robbers, plural, meaning that both men, at the beginning, were insulting Jesus? Now my question to you is this. My question to you is, what was it that made that second robber, that second thief, go from mocking the very man that in the end asked for his forgiveness? What was it about Jesus on the cross that was so powerful that completely transformed the soul?
Because it's 2 versions of a story, and the versions contradict each other. It should be pointed out that in Matthew, both of the thieves are mocking him, and in Luke, one thief mocks him, the other one defends him, and neither version of the story speaks of any conversion. What you're doing is pretty much standard apologetics, and you're trying to explain away a contradiction by making the text say something it really doesn't.